before. But Will Chamberlain now coming back into the game for the West, replacing Elvin Hayes. And for the East, John Havlicek. The East perhaps going to go to the running game that was so successful for them in the first quarter. And, of course, the West countering with Will Chamberlain, who brought the West back in the second quarter. So we should have a real fight down to the wire, Chris.
Okay, Jack. Elgin Baylor is in the lineup for the West, along with Jeff Mullins. Hayes and Kojis getting a rest now. Robertson. Timing is perfect.
Look at Oscar. He's fired up. He's clapping his hands. He's waving his fist. These players are fired up here, Chris. There's a lot of pride in this game. And as we heard at the luncheon this afternoon, Richie Guerin and Gene Shue both. Their teams were higher than a kite.
He makes sensational plays look routine. Native of Indianapolis, where his high school team won the Indiana State basketball title, and on to Cincinnati University to win NCAA championship. Wow. Baylor. Oh! All the superlatives for this man, too. Baylor with 17 points. So the battle for the MVP. Monroe. Chamberlain. 101-98 with about 6 minutes left in the ball game. Mullins. Chamberlain. Havlicek. Oscar Robertson. Earl Monroe. Sloan guarding Monroe. Foul called. And Gene Shue, the Bullets coach, coaching the Eastern All-Stars, would like a timeout. Monroe limping now, coming off the deck as Sloan commits his 5th foul.
There's Monroe on this drive, going on Sloan, going up and in, and Sloan hitting him. There you see the contact with the body. Sloan going back, and Earl Monroe going down on the floor. Coming down on that knee. Chris, he has arthritis in that knee.
All right, Jack Twyman, with 5:53 remaining in the ball game. Let's pause for a moment. The East is in the lead by 101-98.
Good to get home. Everything okay?
Fine, just fine. The roses died, Daddy.
Oh, how come?
Heat from the fire in the garage.
How'd that happen?
Sparks from the house I sold.
The house?
Well, the explosion in the basement started it. I think he's a burglar.
What burglar?
Oh, the police caught him. One policeman tripped him my skate. Oh, but he's going to be fine, just fine.
Isn't this our street?
Well, it used to be. We live in a hotel now, Daddy. Don't worry, dear. Our Allstate homeowners insurance is even paying for the hotel bill until the house is fixed.
Allstate Deluxe Homeowners Insurance protects against loss from more hazards than you can count for less money than most companies charge.
Talk to the good hands people. You're in good hands with Allstate.
And now down the stretch in the 19th annual NBA All-Star Basketball Game. Lead is changed hands several times. We've had 10 ties. With 5:53 left in the game, it's 101-98, the East in the lead. Earl Monroe, who learned basketball on the playgrounds in the city of Philadelphia, is at the line with now scoring 16 points. 17. Rudy LaRusso, Jeff Mullins. Joe Caldwell, Will Chamberlain, and Baylor as Russell guards Chamberlain. Monroe. That's Johnson. Beautiful.
There's a play Baltimore fans have seen many times. Earl Monroe hitting his teammate, Gus Johnson.
Elgin Baylor. And Johnson with the rebound. Lead pass to Havlicek. Look at Monroe. He tried to retrieve the ball.
Earl talking things over there with the Baltimore writers.
A sellout crowd here. And they put press row right at the sidelines. Believe me, it's close. 5:21 left in the game as we look at Duke University's Jeff Mullins of Lexington, Kentucky. Now, Joe Caldwell from Texas City, Texas, and Arizona State gives to Will Chamberlain. Caldwell. Baylor. Here's Johnson. They go to Johnson. (107 to 98). The East on top. Less than 5 to go. And of course, the crowd here would be favoring the East, and they're letting their feelings known. Chamberlain of the West.
There's that great strength. The East sagging a little bit, forcing the West to shoot from outside, and as a result, Gus Johnson inside to help on the rebound. Jeff Mullen.
107 to 100. Here's the East again. Johnson. A one-shot foul coming up. Next year, the All-Star game will be in Philadelphia. Gus Johnson.
That's his fourth penalty shot.
10 points. Now 11.
Gus having a big year for Baltimore, averaging 19 a game and 11 rebounds a game.
Elgin Baylor across the 10-second line to Caldwell. Now Jeff Mullins back to Caldwell. And Lou Hudson, who came into the ball game during the timeout, makes it 108 to 102, only 6 points separating the two great teams. Robertson. Chamberlain. Not only the ball, but Robertson down. Here's Monroe. Using Chamberlain's outstretched hand for a sight of an in.
And you saw him elevate the arc on the shot, trying to get it over Chamberlain's hand, as he did.
A standing ovation for Earl the Pearl Monroe, Gus Johnson, and the Eastern All-Stars. We have a timeout at Civic Center. The East leading by 8, 110 to 102.
Shell's hidden camera rolls again. Mr. Lyle Schaefer doesn't know that that dealer is really comedian Tom O'Malley, who's going to challenge his choice of Super Shell.
Super Shell? You must not do much driving.
I drove automobiles since I was 16 years old, and I'm 70 years old. And I know what kind of gas my automobile will burn, what I can get out of it, the mileage that I can get, and everything like that. I know, because I use it.
Well, what have you been buying, though?
I buy Super Shell, and it works in my automobile.
Now, how do you know it works? I mean, tell me.
How do I know? I get.
So I can learn.
Well, I get mileage.
Do you get bad or do you get good mileage?
I get good mileage with it. If I didn't, I wouldn't drive the darn thing. I wouldn't buy it.
Thanks, Mr. Lyle Schaefer, for judging us on our merits. For good mileage, get Super Shell. It goes a long way.
Baltimore Bullet fans galore here in Civic Center in this nifty Maryland city for the 19th annual NBA All-Star Game. And with 3:38 to go, the East 110, the West 102. And the ball game has been tied up 12 times. The lead has changed hands 7, as Oscar Robertson now has 23 points for the East. Monroe 19, and for the West, Baylor has 16. The West with the ball. Here's Chamberlain coming to a high post. Baylor is fouled from behind by Gus Johnson of the Bullets, number 25.
And in this quarter, Gus has been great off the boards. He and Bill Russell getting the rebound, getting it out to his backcourt of Earl Monroe and Oscar Robertson. How would you like to have a backcourt like that, Chris? Two great shooters, great passers, and they've worked very well together here in the Eastern lineup.
Baylor. Last year, the East humiliated the West at Madison Square Garden, 144 to 124. Baylor now 8 of 9 from the line, 17 points, 18. 3:32 left in the game, 110 to 104. East leading. Robertson.
Okay, one go. One.
Gus Johnson.
One go.
For the forwards, along with Havlicek, while Monroe and Robertson are the guards, backcourt men. Johnson.
Gus twisted his ankle driving across. There you see a shot of the ankle. He twisted his ankle driving across the middle, catching it on Elgin Baylor. Gus Johnson holding that ankle, his left ankle. He can't put any pressure on. I think he hurt his ankle pretty badly. Gene Shue out there.
Jack, let's take a look at it again.
Here's the move. There you see Gus coming across the top of the key, going up, and then catching his leg as he goes up. No, it was Caldwell. He caught his leg on Caldwell, throwing him off balance. There you see him going down, twisting his leg on Joe Caldwell, who caught him from behind. There he goes to the floor and he'll grab his ankle.
He deserves that round of applause. Johnson with 11 points and a very exciting ball player. His team, the Baltimore Bullets, lead the Eastern Division by 3 games. And of course, Gus does not want to go to the bench.
No, it's a rule, Chris, when a player is injured, as Gus was, he has to shoot the foul. And Normie Drucker now, the time called by the East. But Normie Drucker wanting to have Gus Johnson shoot the foul.
Well, we have 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the ball game. The East is in the lead, 110 to 104.
Part of the fun of going to a dog show is looking at the people. Wherever you find people having fun, you'll find Winston. Winston, America's largest selling cigarette. Because it's what's up front that counts. And up front, only Winston has golden filter blend tobaccos for the best taste in filter cigarettes.
Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Like your cigarette should.
3:15 left in the ball game. The East leading the West, 110 to 104. Team's about ready to come out now. We have quite a team. For ABC, the executive producer is Rune Arledge. This NBA All-Star Game produced by Chet Forty, directed by Andy Sedaris. Associate directors Don Olmeyer, Larry Cam, technical director Bob Bernthal, unit manager Dave Holman, assistants to the producer Jeff Mason, and Carol Letty. Gus Johnson, who injured his ankle, hit that one from the line, make it 111 to 104. And Gus shaking off the injury as Joe Caldwell for the West has the ball. They trail by 8 points now with about 3 minutes to go. This is Jeff Mullins. Caldwell to Baylor. Coming around to Chamberlain's screen, picked up by Bill Russell now. Knocked out of bounds by Monroe.
Now, at 2:57, time becomes the big factor. The East looking to slow it down, enjoying an 8-point lead. The West, however, will apply the pressure on defense, trying to get down and bring the score back closer than 8 points. John Havlicek.
Havlicek, Robertson, and now Earl Monroe. Guarded by Baylor. And here comes Billy Cunningham for the Eastern All-Stars, giving Gus Johnson a much-needed rest because of the injured ankle. The East on an out-of-bounds play. Havlicek. 2:37 left in the ball game as the East now leads by 10. Caldwell. Robertson. Rebounding to Havlicek, to Monroe. 116 to 104. 2:18 to go. Now it's Lou Hudson. Baylor. Lou Hudson of the Atlanta Hawks, Elvin Baylor of the Los Angeles Lakers.
And the East, Chris, here finishing the game as they started it with that blazing fast break, relying on Bill Russell to get the rebound, getting it out to Earl Monroe and Oscar Robertson for the fast break basket.
At the end of the first quarter, the East led by 16 points. At halftime, they led by 7. At the end of three quarters, they led by 3. Then the West went ahead. Elgin Baylor, 11 of 12 tonight from the foul line.
Oscar Robertson slowing it up. The quarterback for the East trying to use the time a little bit, setting it up with a good shot.
Havlicek, a minute 57 left in the ball game. The East leading by 12 points. The West, Joe Caldwell. Finding Baylor, Jeff Mullins, and Oscar Robertson. Havlicek. Baylor to Mullins, to Hudson. The West having trouble finding the hoop as we have John McLaughlin, Wes Unseld, and Hal Greer coming into the lineup for the East. Oscar Robertson comes down to the ball game. His team leading by 12. Earl Monroe and Bill Russell congratulate one another. They're met by their coach, Gene Shue. Oscar with 24 points. Here's the West now. Lou Hudson. Can't shake Havlicek. Baylor to Mullins. 118 to 108. Minute 22 to go. Sunday, our NBA Game of the Week telecast from Philadelphia. Hal Greer and the 76ers meeting San Francisco Warriors. Here's Greer.
Before. No shot.
Hal Greer will go to the line to get one shot with a minute 10 to go.
His third penalty. Hal Greer.
The East tonight, Chris, using the fast break beautifully. A great hand for Russell and Earl Monroe and Oscar Robertson, and deservedly so. They work the fast break to perfection, and as a result are enjoying an 11-point lead here in the closing minutes.
The East in this series, in 18 games, they've won 12, while the West has won 6. And in the 18 All-Star games, the visiting team has only won 3 times.